The whole thing is
The
dumb.
whole thing is dumb.
The whole family is stupid. Your fiance is dumb. You're dumb.
Hi, and welcome to the SaVeg Podcast.
I'm Rose, also known as Cheap Lazy Vegan on YouTube.
And I'm Daniel, one of your favorite guest stars on Cheap Lazy Vegan's YouTube channel.
We're two friends who love to talk about the latest trending topics.
So get comfortable and join us while we give our savage take on just about everything.
Hello, everyone.
And welcome back to this week's pre-recorded episode of...
Pre-recorded episode of the SaVeg Podcast.
And Rose, why are we pre-recording?
Because I be leaving again.
Where the time this goes out, where are you going to be?
I'm going to be in Italy.
Oh, God damn.
Yeah.
The
It'd be
motherland.
exciting as hell.
Not the motherland.
Not the motherland.
No.
Although they do say Italians and Koreans are similar because we're both in a peninsula.
Oh.
Have you heard this saying?
You
talked about it in Beef.
Yes, I do remember.
It's the peninsula mentality.
Oh, God damn.
So there are some similarities.
God damn. So what's the mentality of the peninsula?
I don't know, Daniel, but I think the mentality should be that the mic needs to be in front of your face. Thank you very much.
I think that also, I realize I could see like my...
Yeah, I'm like, can you please,
So I can repeat that question. What would be the mentality of the peninsula?
I don't actually know.
God
But there are some parallels, apparently.
Oh, God damn.
Yes. So
Next time I'm in South Korea, I'm going to contrast to the next time I'm in Italy and see what some of them similarities are.
Well, I know that for... so people also compare Japan and the UK because both island mentality. So the reason why they're very they're known to be polite but potentially a little fake is because you're stuck on an island and so you can't really leave. Back in the day anyway.
Yeah.
And so you kind of learn to get along with everyone even though you don't like each other.
Yeah, you have that
Yeah.
the
What do you have that, Daniel?
that niceness and non-confrontational but
Yes.
confrontational.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of...
So that's what they say about the island mentality. So
God damn.
yeah.
I wonder what they say about the...
Let me see if I can find it.
About the...
Peninsula?
Not peninsula. What would Canada be considered? Just land?
I mean, it's just a giant piece of land.
So I wonder if there's a giant piece of land mentality.
Maybe. Peninsula mentality. It's a thing.
Oh, God damn. What would it be?
Let me find it.
Let's learn a little bit,
Let's learn
guys,
a little bit about South Korea and
about Rose and why she's the way she is.
Let's see. Let's see. Okay, peninsula mentality. If you're feeling insular, get to a peninsula like South Korea, Italy, or Fife? Is that a place?
I guess so.
Am I stupid? You can escape the commonplace if you are willing to embrace. What the fuck is this? Is this okay? If you've got beef, mate, I think it's like a poem. Then don't cross the line. You can alienate whenever you like. You needn't be. Okay, this is not.
Yeah, you know what? I'm over it already.
I'm over it. Let's just get over it.
Let's move on and move on with.
Okay. Oh, do we have any shout outs?
It would be kind of weird to do a shout out this time because this is going out in 4 weeks.
This is true. So we'll wait for all the shout outs for potential new Patreon members.
For when Rose is back.
For when I'm back, which will be in a few weeks. But if you haven't yet, guys, join our Patreon community. It's patreon.com/SaVeg Podcast. And you can get every episode a week earlier than everyone else. You get bonus content every single month and you get ad-free content. So definitely check it out, you guys. It starts as little as $3 a month. And Daniel, you okay?
Yeah, I'm just checking when we're going to record again. So we're going to do that.
It'll be July.
Yeah, July 3rd.
Yeah.
That we'll do this. We'll redo this.
Yes.
Well, not redo, but we'll do the shout outs then.
Yes. Yeah. Sounds great. Okay. So because we're pre-recording, we've decided to bring back another favorite series.
Our lazy content.
If
you will.
And what is it, Daniel?
Our lazy content is the subreddit thread, guys. If you haven't heard us talk about it yet, where have you been?
Yeah.
We've done it a few times on this podcast, and it's called Am I the Asshole? A little bit of a switch from our regular programming, but people seem to love it. There's lots of great stories on there. And I think the reason I like talking about it is also, it's not just about the stories, but there's also bring up topical issues as well. And I think it kind of does tie in with what we generally talk about on the podcast, which is doom and gloom. So it's just a great way to, hear other people's stories and comment on them and see how we feel.
And judge them.
Yeah. And if we're in line with all the other people judging them.
Yes. So basically it's people that throw in their stories and they say, am I the asshole in this situation? And then we can assess whether they are the asshole or not.
Exactly.
Okay. So I will pick one.
You kicking off, Rose?
I'm kicking this off. Am I the asshole for not pushing my family to include my fiancé in Christmas card photos? I, 37 male, am engaged to my fiance, 31 female, planning on getting married at the end of this year. My family takes a Christmas card photo every year, which, by the way, you're the asshole if you keep taking Christmas fucking card photos and sending them, okay?
You mean you don't do that, Rose?
Oh my God, it's just so... Anyway, we'll get into that later. Okay. My family takes a Christmas card photo every year, usually around big events like graduations or parties when everyone is together, which isn't often. Years ago, my mom instituted a not until you're married policy to include significant others in photos and applied that rule to my brother when he was dating and engaged to his now wife. My fiance has had significant issues with this. Oh my God, do people care about Christmas photos this much? Oh my God.
Apparently it's a thing.
Last year, when the family took photos shortly after she and I were engaged, she directed many snide comments to me about how excluded she feels. This year, she flatly refused to drive with me to a family graduation, saying how hurt and excluded she felt by this policy. Since we are getting married this year and the card is coming out this year, we are getting married, the year that we're getting married. I tried to explain that this isn't our card. This isn't our right to tell others who can and can't be on their card. And we could always have our own card to start our own tradition. She's made several comments around how surprised she is that I haven't stood up for her to my mother, even telling me that she's discussed the issue with others, and they also are surprised that I wouldn't take a stand with my mother on this. She also made a point multiple times to say, good, less time to spend on photos with them at the wedding, implying a tit for tat response to this policy. I don't really know what to do. Am I the asshole?
Everyone's
the asshole. First of all, like, I wish this was, the problems that I had. Like, he just won't include me in his Christmas card photos. Like, this is the biggest problem in the relationship.
Like, great, I don't want to be in the fucking Christmas card photo.
Okay. And also, like, what is the big deal? What do you think, Daniel?
I agree. I'm like, again, like, these are just like little things. And like, if it's his family's Christmas card, like, you know what? I will take the fucking photo for you and not be in the photo. Like, yeah, I really don't care.
You're engaged to this man. Like, they have this strange, okay, I think they're all annoying, okay? Like, you have this stupid rule of, okay, maybe it's not stupid, but, the fact that you have to be married until you get to be in this prestigious Christmas photo that you're going to send out to strangers, probably.
I know.
Because this is a problem with Christmas photos. I think it's fine to send it to, like, your relatives.
Yeah.
And your, like, family and stuff. But sometimes you're just, like, getting a Christmas photo from, like, random ass people, random ass companies, random ass things, and you're just like, this is going straight into the recycling.
Exactly.
Like, it's just a waste of resources. We already have you on social media. This is not the olden days anymore where I have to, like, get a photo of you to see what you look like.
Yeah. Well, this is it. Right?
We have you on Instagram. I see what you look like every Monday morning. Like, we don't need a Christmas photo. Like, I don't know.
Well, some people are really big into it. Like, I've had...
It's a very white North American thing.
I've received Christmas cards from friends.
Yes.
Like, with their pictures on them, with their, like, kids and all sorts.
Like, do people actually want these?
You know what? It depends. Like, for my close friends, I don't mind, actually. I kind of like it. Like, it's kind of nice. Like, one of my really good friends sent me, like, a family Christmas picture, and I thought it was really cute. So,
like, if it's a good friend, sure.
Yeah. But if it was, like, somebody that I wasn't that close with, then I would be, like, a bit weird. Like,
it's just weird.
Yeah. But
it seems a little narcissistic.
No,
like, these people are going to care about my Christmas photo. Maybe I am in the wrong here. Maybe
No, I think it's dependent, right? It depends on your relationship with that person.
Anyway,
but no,
I'm allergic to Christmas photos.
Apparently, I think honestly it does depend on the person. Like, again, the friends that I did receive it from, I was like not so like weirded out. I thought it was kind of sweet, but like if it was like some random like not close friend that's like sending me stuff, I'd be like, this is fucking weird.
Yeah, it's just a bit weird, and I just feel like I feel bad for throwing it out, but I'm also like, where am I going to put it?
To be honest,
I met you last Tuesday.
To be honest, I'll be honest with you guys, and this is going to sound really bad. I'm going to sound like a Grinch. I love Christmas time, by the way.
I mean, don't we all?
I love the festivities. I even decorated my place like a little bit. Cute. And me and my friends do like a Christmas craft night.
Yeah, cute.
So we all like do a little craft and whatever. So I love it. But what I don't like about Christmas is I don't really like, I get why some people send cards and stuff, but like I get cards and I'm like, you don't keep them. Like, it doesn't like they're last or anything. Some people might. I have a few from like a long time ago, but not really. And most of them just go in the recycling. Yeah.
So Christmas photos or cards, Daniel? Pick one.
Both.
No, if you have to only pick one to survive, what would it be?
I would prefer to get someone's, like for Christmas.
Yes.
I would prefer a Christmas card than a Christmas card with photos.
Oh, God damn. So you'd be a...
What would you prefer?
Christmas card.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because it's just weird to me to get again, unless it's like close family. But again, I can see your photos. It's on Instagram.
Yeah. But humbug, Rose.
Anyway, we're okay. So let's talk about this situation. So first of all, again, everyone is making too big of a deal about this Christmas photo.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's not a big deal.
Both sides of the equation.
Yeah.
Okay. And I do kind of understand, again, she is making a very big deal out of something that is not worth making a big deal about. But I guess I understand because she feels like isolated in a way, I guess. It's not maybe necessarily about the Christmas photo.
Yeah.
It's more so about the fact that, like, you know, that is kind of awkward if you're like, you okay? Are you sure? Okay. It is kind of awkward if you're, you know, going to this, you gather as this like family. And, you know, if you're engaged, you're assumed to be family.
Yeah.
And you gather and all of a sudden they're like, let's take a Christmas photo, but you can't be in it.
Yeah.
It just seems childish.
Can I throw this out there as well?
Throw it out there, Daniel.
I think there's more to this than just the Christmas photo.
I do think so.
Because I think there's something else. Because she's saying she's feeling super excluded. Like me personally, if someone's like, oh, you just can't be in this photo, I wouldn't be like so miffed about it. There feels like there's something more going to it. The fact that like she feels excluded from like the family.
Everything.
Yeah.
I think it's also the fact that he's not standing up for her.
Yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, I mean, I get it. Like, you know, your mom has these weird rules around this fucking Christmas photo.
Yeah.
But if your fiance is like upset about it, you could at least talk to her and be like, hey, can we bend the rules? Like, is it such a big deal? We're going to get married. It's not like they've just started dating.
Yeah.
So I think it's the fact that he's not, you know, they're supposed to be in a partnership, and I get that it's his mom. So it's like, you know, obviously there needs to be a balance, but like if you're going to marry someone, you know, this is your partner.
I also feel like though a lot of like men do not stand up to their mothers.
Right. Yes. It's like a mama's boy.
Their mother is like, you know, like
it can do no wrong.
Exactly. I don't know if it's more like, maybe that's not like, because I think our generation is a bit more like less like that. I feel like.
What do you mean? Like
I would say something to my mom, for example. Like I feel like I would hope my partner would, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he's on team mom at the moment.
I know. So what would you do though, Rose, if your partner, you were at a family event and your partner didn't stand up for you in front of his parents? And his parents were doing something like this. Not like this, but like, you know.
I mean, you know, yeah. I mean, I would be gladly not in the Christmas photo.
Rose would be having the Christmas wine in the background.
I think it would depend on the situation. Obviously, if like, it depends on if you're in the right or the wrong, right? Like, yeah. Obviously, I still like. There's a balance. Okay, your partner can't always stand. If you're doing something shitty, yeah, obviously, like, you know, it's unreasonable for your partner to have to stand up for you.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you'd be a good daughter-in-law anyways. So I feel like your in-laws are gonna like love you as a daughter-in-law.
Daniel, that's the nicest thing you've ever said to me. What's in this tea?
I think you might have put some medicinal ingredients because I'm feeling chill as fuck right now.
Damn, Daniel. I'd be touched.
No, but I think I could see you being good with like your friends' parents, you know? Yes.
So I would be, and I'm also very, believe it or not, very accommodating as well.
Okay, Rose. Now we're getting into the rivers of delusion.
And here's the thing. I grew up in a Korean household. I'm Korean, and we respect authority and we respect
like your
elders.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult for me to, and sometimes it's toxic. I don't necessarily agree that it should always be that case. Yeah. But I'm so used to not like, you know, causing any drama. Well, first of all, I don't like drama. Yeah. Believe it or not. I don't like drama. I don't like conflict. So I think I would just I'm kind of like a little bit of a people pleaser. So I think I would just kind of do what is the whatever. Daniel's
people
like,
pleaser.
I am a people pleaser. Maybe not to you.
Not to me. That's for damn sure.
Anyway,
Daniel, why the fuck are you doing this with the vegetables? You chop them like this is like a fucking baby. Give it to me.
This is like the closest people to me get most of the abuse.
That's true. You want to eat dinner now or in 400 years? Give me the veggies. I'll fucking chop them.
I don't know where you're getting this from, Daniel.
I mean, it only happened like 30 minutes ago. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so let me read some comments.
Let's hear it.
Let's see. Okay, wait. So is he the asshole? Is everyone the asshole?
Like, I think there's two sides to this, right? I think one, like in this situation, why didn't he kind of maybe stand up for his fiance a little bit and just say, hey, like, mom, we're getting engaged. Like, let's just include her in the picture. Yeah. Like, we're getting married this year. Like, it's not a big deal. But also, like, she's kind of an asshole as well because like, it's a Christmas card. Like, and also, really,
like, does she really need to be included? Like, do you really, like, you know? It just seems. And also, if it was just her in that situation, that it you know, it wasn't like a rule that the mom had. Yeah. And if it was just her that they were excluding for whatever reason, then I wouldn't understand. But it's the fact that like this has obviously been the case for his brother as well. So it's kind of like,
it's a family tradition.
Yeah. It's like, okay, whatever, just leave it. It's stupid. Move on.
At the end of the day, it's like if I was dating a guy and his family had like a certain tradition of something, right? And I thought it was a little bit stupid. I'm like, oh, this is so annoying. Yeah. But I'll be like, this is their family tradition.
Exactly.
I will follow it. Like,
Fine,
fuck it.
exactly.
Like, I don't really care that much, you know?
Yeah.
Unless it was like their parents are actually being a dick to me.
Yeah.
That's different. But like little things like this, like families have their traditions.
Yeah. So first comment, your mother is very wise. Your fiance is a bit of a main character, isn't she? Wow. And she's already planning retaliation at your wedding. Did he say that?
Yeah, because she said, "Oh, I guess that makes it easy for the wedding photos or something like that."
Oh shit! I think I missed that part, or it kind of went over my head. Dude, you may seriously want to rethink things here. Oh, wow. Okay. These are red flags, and her behaving like an entitled child is going to cause some serious friction now and later. You are not the asshole. Your fiance definitely is and needs serious help. Oh, shit.
God damn.
Okay. Apparently we have different opinions, kind of.
I do think it was childish of her to be like, well, I guess that makes it, because wedding photos.
I kind of missed that part.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Okay, so apparently she's the asshole. I get the rule when someone is dating, but if you're engaged, it does feel a little harsh. My family isn't exactly super open with other people in our photos either, but I think this is pretty rude. So soft, you're the asshole. Interesting. Okay, so that one's the next top comment. And then someone says, you are not the asshole. I get why your mom put this rule in place years ago. The last picture of my kids with my great-grandmother has my brother's ex-girlfriend in it, and they were about to get engaged. Your mom didn't make this rule new for your fiance, so I don't know why she would be so upset by it. Is she being excluded in other ways? Question. That's an important question. And also I would like to point out, I hate when people do this, act like marriage is finite. It's like, oh, once you're married, it's like it's never going to end, is it?
Exactly. It's like,
so,
well,
yeah, you could always also have your ex-husband in your fucking Christmas photo too. So it's like, is it really that big of a deal? I think everyone's just being so fucking dramatic.
Exactly. Well, and especially nowadays, that's what Photoshop's for.
Exactly.
Right?
Just fucking Photoshop them out. Put them in the end, at the edge.
That could be the rule. Always partners are on the edge of the photo.
And again, guys, who cares? It's a fucking Christmas photo.
Well, it's really
There's going to be people that come in and out of your life. Is it really that big of a deal?
Rose, to us white people, those Christmas cards are
It's the end all be all.
They are our kryptonite. You know? They just not kryptonite. They're just like our gold standard of the Christmas holidays.
No, so a lot of people saying not the asshole. It says, this is your mom's Christmas card. Your mom is the one with the rule requiring marriage before, so it is before a significant other is included. Until she says I do, she's not included in the picture. Your intended sounds immature and entitled. If this is her overall outlook on life, you've got a long road ahead, full of conflict and dealing with hurt feelings caused by her get even attitude. Think long and hard about this. Good luck.
God damn, Rose.
Okay, interesting. So wow. Okay. I think it's all stupid. Yeah. Somebody said it's a stupid policy. Ultimately, I think everyone sucks here. I agree. I don't like her reaction with the tit for tat stuff, but you should absolutely stand up to your family. You should be the one pushing for this since you consider her a lifelong partner already. A piece of paper doesn't do anything. People get divorced every day. I agree. It's all dumb. The whole thing is dumb.
The whole thing is dumb.
The whole family is stupid. Your fiance is dumb. You're dumb. Your mom is dumb. This whole thing is dumb. I'm joking in case you are watching this original commenter or poster.
Am I the asshole for being upset after being kicked off a vacation?
Well, we know that's not a British person because they would have said holiday instead of vacation.
They would have.
So they're American as hell.
Holiday in Ibiza. So I, 23 female, went on vacation with my boyfriend, I guess Logan. 24 male, and his dad, Rob, 60-ish male.
Okay, we're naming and shaming.
Rob recently got a payout from a legal thing, keeping details vague for privacy. So he asked Logan to go on a road trip with him. Logan is currently unemployed. He and I were best friends for years before we started dating, and I've always been well acquainted with his family. Logan and I have been dating for 4 years, and I've known Rob for 8 years. I asked Logan if I could fly out to meet them at a certain point on their road trip. I had a bunch of PTO I hadn't used, personal time off.
Yes.
So
is it paid time off?
Or paid time off, yeah.
I don't know. What is it?
I can't remember. It could be paid time off. So it seemed perfect. We talked to Rob about it, and Rob was happy. He told me that he would pay for everything on the trip, including my food costs, and I insisted on buying my own flights.
Okay.
I flew out there to meet them, and it was awkward. They'd been traveling around for 2 weeks already, so I took Rob's annoyance to being because he was sick of traveling. I decided to pay my expenses because Rob seemed annoyed he had to pay for me, but then he got mad at me. My third night there, Rob went to bed and Logan and I went out to explore a bit. I got into an accident and had to go to the hospital. I broke my shoulder and my jaw. Holy shit. I only had a few more days left on the trip. I talked to the doctors and they assured me that I would be fine to travel for 3 more days and then fly home. Rob picked Logan and me up from the hospital, and as soon as I got to the car, he said I needed to fly home. Logan brought up what the doctors had said, but Rob said it wasn't up for discussion. Logan asked Rob to drop us off somewhere. I think because Logan wanted his dad to calm down before we spoke more. Rob was outwardly upset, but he agreed to drop us off. When we met up with Rob again for dinner, he started yelling at me in the restaurant. He said something like this: "This is my trip and you're an uninvited guest. It's time to go. It's time for you to go." Rob made a jab at my parents, and I replied that my parents would never yell at me, especially in a public place. I booked a hotel room for myself and told him I was going to stay with or without him. Logan didn't say anything other than to bring up again what the doctor said. I talked to Logan about continuing his trip with his dad, but Logan insisted on staying with me. We continued the vacation for 2 more days and then flew home. Rob cut his trip short and ended up driving back home a couple of days after Logan and I flew out. Rob invited us over for dinner and I refused to go. Logan is understanding and supports my decision. I told my family about everything that happened, and they were extremely upset by it. They think that Rob kicking me off the trip was horrendous. My parents are upset that Rob would treat me that way. Personally, my feelings are hurt, and I feel like Rob took away my autonomy. Logan is very supportive of my need for space, but I still feel bad about it. Am I the asshole?
Okay, first of all, she's not the asshole, because what is happening? Mm-hmm. I feel like we're missing some chapters.
I know.
Because why is he mad?
Well, exactly.
He invited her, no?
Well, I think she asked, because she had PTO, she asked if she could come, right? She was
But didn't he say he was going to pay for everything?
Yeah, she said, I asked Logan if I could fly out to meet them. So she asked her boyfriend.
Okay.
And because she had some PTO, and he and her both talked to Rob about it. He seemed happy and said he would pay for everything on the trip, including her food costs.
So where did this go wrong?
Exactly.
I'm so confused. Why is he having a temper tantrum? Mm-hmm. Maybe he didn't get the payout he wanted. Like I'm so confused. Like, why is he mad?
Yeah. So
is there more information?
No, so get this. There is an update.
Okay.
I'll tell you that in a second, but here's one of the comments. There's something missing here.
Yeah, thank you.
The story jumps straight from Rob being happy and paying for everything to Rob being annoyed and mad. Then you're in a random accident with multiple broken bones, and Rob is even more mad.
This is true. She's skipping chapters.
I know. Either you're leaving things out or something happened on the trip before you joined it, and Logan isn't sharing that with you. Either way, not enough info.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what, because I'm like, literally, where do you go from he's happy that you're coming on the trip, he's going to pay for everything, to he is mad and yelling at you at a restaurant? For what reason? What is he saying to you? You know, and why is he saying you're an uninvited guest when clearly you were semi-invited? Mm-hmm. Is there any update?
Oh yeah, I'll tell you what the update was. Here's the update from her. This is a very confusing story.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
Edit. I'm getting a lot of comments that I invited myself to a father-son trip, so I'd like to add a bit more context. The road trip they planned was supposed to be 2 to 3 months long, and I was supposed to join them for just 6 days. I was not the only friend of the family that was meeting them along the course of their trip. I had previously been invited on a different trip, but couldn't go because I didn't have enough PTO. And when this trip came up, I mentioned to Logan how much PTO I had. I also do not feel entitled to be invited to every trip. I'm just saying why I brought up how much PTO I had in the first place. Logan was excited that I could join him, and he asked Rob if I could meet them. I was not with Logan when he asked specifically because I wanted Rob to feel comfortable saying no. They were going to a location important to my family's heritage, and Rob told me directly that he was very excited and to experience seeing it with me. I had no indication that Rob did not want me on the trip. Is
that all the info?
Then she added on here as well. God, this is like a novel.
Oh my God. It's like she's saying a lot, but not saying enough.
I know. I can try to give more context. I couldn't because of the word limit, but I'm not sure what other information might be helpful. I don't really think
lot more other information would be
that
helpful.
I left anything out on purpose, or I left anything out, at least not on purpose. Rob is just kind of like that as a person. 1 minute everything is fine, and next he's got a bone to pick with the world. When my going on the trip was discussed, he was definitely excited to share the experience with me. Logan mentioned to him that they had planned on the trip that was very important to my family's heritage. I was uncomfortable at the thought of him paying for my entire trip, but he said that he was already paying for things, and adding me onto that would not be an issue for him. Logan and his dad don't always get along super well. The first two weeks of the trip were stressful. From what I gathered from Logan, Rob deals with chronic pain and that started to flare up during the trip. That can also cause people
that can cause you to be irritable.
Exactly. He started being hateful towards Logan, which Logan said he didn't feed into and was understanding of. Logan has told me that there was nothing out of the ordinary. When I joined, Logan and I started going off without Rob. I asked Logan about spending more time with Rob, and Logan said that even when I wasn't there, Rob preferred to explore more on his own than with Logan. I paid for my own food and expenses, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so basically, I mean, if we just take her word for it, it sounds like he has a bit of erratic emotional behavior.
Yeah. Well, and I think it sounds like from what I heard and what I gather, it sounds like a lot of it could be dealing with chronic pain.
It could be that as well.
Because that really messes
chronic pain
up.
Can really make you angry, I'm sure. But to take it out on someone else, not so fair. But I haven't dealt with chronic pain, so it's hard for me to say.
Yeah.
But to take it out on your son's girlfriend is, it's too much. And, like it sucks if you have chronic pain, but it's not her fault.
Exactly.
So
and you shouldn't be, they're all saying not the asshole.
Yeah.
And then someone put here, not the asshole. No, info. Why did you want to stay on this trip after you broke your jaw and shoulder? You likely wouldn't have been able to eat or talk properly or even move around comfortably, much less do whatever tourist thing they had planned. And I'm sure you would have been in intense pain. Why would you insist on staying?
Well, I'm assuming because she didn't want to pay for another flight to change the flight.
Maybe.
Because you probably already have your flight booked because she was going to leave 3 days later. So I'm sure there's a reason for that. Like, I wouldn't want to stay either, but if your flight's already booked and it's going to cost you hundreds of dollars to get out of it, then maybe it's just better to just stay.
Yeah. So anyway,
God damn.
Not the asshole.
Not the asshole.
That's a verdict.
Sounds fucking dramatic.
I know, it sounds like a lot. Like, I don't know if I'd want to join, like, especially like a, mother, daughter, father, son kind of trip.
God,
I think I'd just be like, you know what?
It would be kind of weird.
I'm like, you guys just have fun. I'm good.
Yeah.
Even if it's my partner, I'll be like, have a good time with your dad.
Yeah, have a good time. Have some bonding time.
Exactly. And I'll be happily in the city and be back here
hang out with my friends.
Exactly. And I'll be back here for when you return.
Oh, God damn. Okay.
And then you can bitch at me all about it.
Next. Am I the asshole for letting someone drink my friend's beer and refusing to pay them back? I, 28 male, had
I like how you looked at me for that.
I, 28 male, had a friend, 29 male, Brian, over almost 3 months ago, where he bought a pack of 12-pack of Coors and only drank half of it. When he left the remaining beers in my fridge, despite me reminding him to grab them. Since then, he came over twice for little things, and I told him to grab the beers he left, but he didn't. Come Saturday, I had a couple people over, and they asked if they could have the Coors, which I considered abandoned at this point, so say, sure. They drank all of the remaining beers that night. Last night, Brian came over for a minute and asked to grab his beers, and I told him they were gone. He got angry that I gave his beers away and demanded I pay for the remaining beers. I refused because I felt he had plenty of time to take or drink them and that he abandoned them at my house. Am I the asshole?
First of all, not
why are you buying Coors?
Secondly, I don't think you're the asshole.
No.
Like if I had like beer at my house, if you brought beer to my house.
Yes, consider it yours. You know what I mean?
Well, exactly. And this is the thing. Like if I bring a bottle of wine to like Rose's and I leave it here, and even if it's like, maybe I do want to come back and get it, and maybe I come back and I forget. It doesn't matter. It's a fucking bottle of wine. Like, I'll go buy another one. Like, cry me a river. It's like, how much is it for a pack of beer? Like $20?
I mean, and if it's that important to you, he should have grabbed them before. That's the thing. It's like, if you're really on a budget and you brought whatever drinks to someone's place, if you want them, you take them.
Well, I have a really good story about this.
I think I know which one. Is it about the roommate in the UK?
Yeah.
Yes. Tell the story, Daniel.
So basically, I was living in London. Rose and our other friend had left, and we got 2 new roommates in our house. And we decided to have like a big party. We wanted to invite all of our friends, and we wanted to like get to know all of everyone. So we just, each person, like the guy that lived upstairs invited friends, I invited my friends, and the 2 new roommates invited friends as well. So we had this massive house party. Like there was probably like, I want to say
50 people?
50 people there, or if not more. Like it was just packed, right? Loads of people bringing drinks, bringing beverages. And like one group of my friends, well, actually all of my friends, not only did they bring drinks for themselves, but they would bring like extra stuff. Like one of my friends bought a bottle of tequila for everyone to do like tequila shots. Like they just brought extra stuff, right? So anyway, a bunch of my friends left, everyone left, went to bed. And my flatmate like pulls me aside and is like, one of her friends that was at the party had brought a little tiny thing of gin and vodka or something, and a 2-liter of Pepsi or Sprite.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, it had gone missing.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And she was like, yeah, she left it here and I think somebody drank it and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, first of all,
if you leave it here,
exactly.
people are going to drink it. This is a house party.
Exactly. A house party is like, what's there is up for grabs.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, guys.
If you want it, you keep it with you.
Exactly. Or if you're really, really like not emotional, but like if I came to Rose's house and I didn't want anyone drinking a particular, maybe I bought a fancy bottle of wine. I'm like, hey, can I just put this in your room? Like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you put it somewhere where,
yes.
because otherwise it's like, you can't blame people. There's just, people get drunk, especially when people get drunk.
Yeah.
There's like other alcohol there. Like, you know, not that I go around trying to steal people's drinks.
Well, usually like the unspoken rule is that it's usually on the table. There's like alcohol everywhere.
Yeah.
And you just pour yourself drinks.
Yeah. And I've been to so many house parties and let me tell you, there's never a shortage of alcohol.
Yes.
So like nobody is going without. And anyway, so long story short, this girl, so first my roommate comes and confronts me and I was like, well,
oh my God,
I'm going to tell you right now. First of all, I don't really give a fuck about this. Secondly, I was like, no. And then she was like starting to like say, oh, did any of your friends take it?
Oh my God.
And I was like, all of my friends brought extra alcohol to the party. Like none of them are going around taking someone's small ass bottle of vodka. They brought like tequila and all sorts of things. I was like, no one's complaining about that.
Yeah, nobody is taking your 10-pound shitty vodka.
And, and then anyway, so then on top of this, this girl that was friends with this flatmate reached out to me on Facebook.
Oh my God.
And was almost basically asking me to like transfer her the money for this alcohol. And I was just like,
oh my God, are you actually joking?
I know. I was like, I can. And I was like, no, I'm not going to transfer you. Like literally your pop was maybe 2 pounds.
Yes.
Like cry me a river. Like what? Like what?
What are you doing? What are you saying? Like,
yeah, it was wild. I've never.
Oh my God. That is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. And we had another house party and another person, friends with that same flatmate, a different person of her friend.
Yeah.
No, actually, I think it wasn't the same girl because she never came back to our house.
Well, she doesn't want you stealing her gin.
I know. Apparently, me and my friends all steal stuff.
Oh my God, that's just ridiculous.
And the worst part is like my group of friends, like this particular flatmate, none of her friends brought like extra for anyone, right?
Yeah.
They just brought enough for themselves.
And listen,
all of my friends brought extra.
There you go. And then if you bring it for yourself, and if you really care about it that much, then keep it with you.
Exactly. Put it in your pocket or keep the bag. Keep it in your fucking purse if you don't want anyone to like touch it.
Oh my God.
So anyway, I just remember like, and then there was like another instance where like a rum bottle had gone missing, and this was golden. So the flatmate came up to me, was like bitching me out again, and was like you stole rum. You and one of your friends were the last ones to leave the party. Like they've touched this bottle of rum, blah, 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 blah. The best part is she found the bottle of rum.
Right.
It was in her room.
Oh my God.
She'd stashed it. She found it, never apologized.
How do you know she found it?
Because I found out later. I found out like a week later because my other flatmate who kind of like, she's like, oh yeah, they found the rum.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I was like, well, that was nice of them to come and apologize for being an absolute dick to me.
Oh my God. Are these people like are they like that broke that they care this much?
I don't know.
Even broke people I don't think would behave this way.
Like, you know, when I first moved to London, I was broke.
I was broke too.
And I was like, I did not give a shit, you know? Yeah. Like, you know, obviously I was like quite tight.
And also, like, I get it. If it goes missing, you're kind of like, oh, that fucking sucks.
Yeah, it's annoying.
But to blame someone else of stealing it is on a different level.
I know. And like, honestly, guys, it is an unwritten rule. Like, if I go to a house party where I don't really know any, like I know only a couple people, it's someone else's house party, I bring a bottle of like rum.
Yeah.
I set it down. Like, chances are other people are going to drink it. You just have to accept that fact, you know?
I usually bring like, if I go to a house party or something, maybe I might bring a bottle of wine and then maybe another bottle. Yeah. For like other people to just leave it there.
Exactly.
Or I might bring a packet of beers and I don't expect to take it home after. Yeah. You know, like, and this guy.
So this guy is definitely the asshole.
His friend is the asshole.
Yeah, sorry, his friend's the asshole. And I would say to his friend, if it was one of my friends that did that to me, I would be like, go out and buy yourself some more beer.
Exactly.
It's $20.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
It's like, okay, not the asshole. You leave your booze at someone's house and it belongs to them now. That's the rule. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
And then someone said, no kidding. I have a drawer in my fridge for left drinks that I will not drink. Those are the first ones I offer to anyone. Exactly. Brian wouldn't listen. That's another thing. It's like, I guess slightly different if you were like, no, but unspoken rule is that you leave it at my house. It's basically mine. Yep. Like, that's just the way it is. Yeah. If you want it, you take it with you that day. And if you really want it later, you can grab it. He offered you many times.
And you never took it.
You never took it. You're like, I don't want to take it. And all of a sudden, what, you're just like fucking craving Coors now? Like, what the hell's happening?
Well, apparently he loves his Coors.
And someone wrote, perhaps Brian needed to pay some rent on his beers to keep them there. If you leave beer or food at my home and we don't have specific arrangement. It's mine now. And if I had Coors around and someone asked to drink it, I'd say, take it all. I mean, I'm glad everyone else agrees, because I think that's the unspoken rule, is that you bring alcohol.
Yeah.
And that is a gift to that house. Okay?
Well, and let's be honest here. If he's left his Coors at my house and it's in my fridge for like a month or two.
Exactly. What am I supposed to do with it?
The cost of me keeping it cool is probably more than the beers are worth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're taking up space in my fridge.
Exactly. And using up my energy.
Exactly. To keep some shitty Coors Light beers in my fucking fridge.
That alone, I'm like, well, you know what? You want the money for the beers. I want the money for the electricity.
Exactly.
The rent for that space.
The decrease in property value by keeping Coors in my fridge.
Exactly. The decreased property value. Also, the fact that there's less real estate in my fridge.
Yes.
For grocery shop. I couldn't meal prep as effectively.
Did he pay rent? I don't think so.
Exactly.
Next. I'm glad we all agree with that one.
Yeah, I'm glad we do too.
Speaking of alcohol, I need to stock up. I need to have a house party so people can bring me some beers.
Okay. This is an interesting one.
Oh.
Am I the asshole for secretly paying my daughter's tuition?
Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting.
My wife, Diana, is a lawyer, and so is her father, brother, and uncles. They take pride in this, and it is sometimes referred to as the family occupation. I am 48 and Diana is 47. Diana wants our children to go to law school and become lawyers just like her. We have 3 children, Debbie, 24, Mark, 21, and Alice. Boy, they had kids young. Alice, 18. Debbie is in law school and Mark has been accepted into one. Alice doesn't want to go to law school, nor does she want to become a lawyer. She wants to go to art school instead. My wife isn't happy about this and they got into a fight. Diana told Alice that she would have to pay for her own education. I told Diana that this is ridiculous and that Alice can't pay on her own. Diana won't budge. Diana earns slightly more than I do, and we each pay into a joint account for any and all of the household expenses. What is left over, we put into our individual accounts. We are generally free to do so with this money as we please, but we have one rule. For very big expenditures, we would ask the other person before spending it. We also put money into 3 college funds for our children, and we are paying for Abby and Mark from these funds. After the fight, I told Alice that if she really wants to go, she should apply for art school, and I would pay for it out of my individual account. She did and was accepted. After their fight, their relationship deteriorated and they weren't talking. Only yesterday did Diana find out that Alice is going to art school and that I'm paying for it. She then got mad at me for breaking our promise, as our promise of discussing big expenditures first. Then she called me an asshole. I did break our promise, but I did it for our daughter. Am I the asshole? ?
No, the Diana is the asshole.
Yeah.
First of all, how many lawyers do you need in your fucking household? Okay, you need some other occupation. Mix things up a little bit. Make things interesting. What is this obsession with everyone? What is this control that you want over your children? This is their life. You should allow them to do whatever. Now, obviously, they're paying for it. So I guess that's where it's kind of like, okay. But then your husband should also have a say. I don't know. Like, what do you think?
Well, I agree. I think the thing is, it comes down to, ultimately, all your kids are doing, going to be.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
It's just asshole-ish.
Yeah. I was going to say all your kids are being successful. They're all going to school.
Right. Yeah.
You set up college funds for all of your children for this exact reason. It didn't say when you set up the college fund, it had to be a law school.
Well, apparently that's what that is what she expected.
I know, but that might be what she expected and everything else. But it's like, no, she has to understand that not everyone wants to be a lawyer. She should be thankful that 2 out of her 3 kids are becoming lawyers.
Exactly. That's already a lot.
Exactly. Because 0 out of 3 could want to be lawyers.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like the kind of occupation and direction you go in life can be very different than your parents, right? So I think, you already have 2 out of 3 kids. Why not, you're supporting the 2 that are deciding to go down the law school path. But what is wrong with another kid wanting to go down a different path? Why are you not helping them out as well? And also it's just, I think, again, I'm not necessarily a big proponent in parents paying for all the tuition for their kids.
Me neither.
I think it's good for them to work and try to do some of it themselves.
But I think in the States though, because it's so expensive, it makes more sense for the parents. Yeah.
Well, and if they can afford it.
If they can afford it. It sounds like they can fucking afford it.
They have a whole lawyer family. Like they're definitely making bank. But the thing is, with this kind of situation, I think like you're already paying for 2 of your kids for school. Like just to leave one out because they didn't go to the school that you want them to go to, I think that's an issue.
That is so messed up.
Yeah.
And, a part of me wants to be like, maybe he should have talked to her before doing it. But at the same time,
she would have said no.
It sounds like she's not budging. Exactly. Like she would not have said yes. Clearly she's very unhappy about this. So you're kind of put between a rock and a hard place because it's like you want to help your daughter, but then your wife's going to say no. Yeah. So it's like, what I think most people, as shitty as it is, would have gone behind the wife's back.
Yeah.
And also this is technically your separate account. So I get that you have this agreement, but when you're being so unreasonable, how do you expect someone to live up to the agreement?
Exactly. And like, just think about the poor Alice. It's like,
I feel so bad for her.
All my siblings are getting all their education paid for, which again, I'm not a big proponent of, but like, I agree in the States, it's so much more expensive. And then I'm going to have to like go to art school and fucking work my ass off. And this is the thing too. It's like, I think people are so pigeonholed in these ideas that like, obviously she's like, my family's been lawyers. We've been successful as lawyers. Yeah. Being a lawyer is a good job. You're going to make good money. Like
it's also very stressful.
Exactly. It's stressful. It's all these other things. But you know what? Also, there's a lot of people that go through arts and do other things where actually they're just as successful, if not more successful than some lawyers. You know what I mean? Yeah. So maybe the chances are lower and overall the average is a little bit lower to be like a more arts or depending on what you're doing.
But that's up to your kid to decide.
Exactly. Maybe they don't want to have that stressful life. Yeah. You know, like they've seen how it's impacted their parents maybe. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They've seen their mom and how stressed she is and they're like, I don't want to go down that path. You know, so yeah,
the mom sounds awful. Let's see what people wrote. Okay. Not the asshole. Your daughter will never forget what you have done for her and the way you supported her dreams. Your wife is wrong and controlling, and it's fine for the big expenditure to go toward law school, which is no doubt more expensive, but it's not okay to spend it on art school. The real reason she's angry is that you took the power away from her to be spiteful to your daughter. Her bark has lost its bite. It's true. Basically she's just mad that like she can't control the daughter anymore. Yeah. And that, it's just so messed up. Not the asshole. Your wife is insufferable. Nothing but the law is acceptable. What a snob. Yeah. You have a 529. I don't know what that is. You aren't even allowed to access for Alice. No, your wife has no right then to say you have to discuss with her. You have an account you've both paid into and with a defined purpose, Alice's college, that she's forbidding you and Alice to use. Geez, I really hate your wife.
Oh God. But it's such a good point. It's like, you know, why does she have this mentality like it's only law school? Yeah. And you know, I can almost guarantee that the two kids that are going to law school
are only going because
of the pressure. Probably part of the reason is their mom has pressured them. So maybe that's not the career path that they would have chosen, but they feel so much pressure from their mom, as I'm sure their mom did from her family.
Which is probably why they're all lawyers.
Exactly. Because they got kind of followed through that footsteps.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
and it's so, I don't understand. I guess I've never been a parent, so maybe I don't get it. But it's like, I understand, of course, if your kid is making very, unreasonable decisions that are harmful. Yeah. But at the end of the day, don't you want your kids to be happy to some extent? Yeah. If they really don't want to go to law school, why would you force them to go to law school?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
It makes no sense. And it's not like she's saying, I'm going to drop out and work on the street.
Get stoned every day.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like she's still going to a school.
Exactly.
And it's like this hate toward like art as well is so annoying. It's like everything is art. Like there's art everywhere. Imagine a world without any art. So this like kind of disdain toward art majors like just needs to stop as well. Anyway, god damn, that'd be a... Yeah. Is it your turn?
It is my turn, Rose.
Damn.
You trying to... Oh, no, wait. Didn't I just pick that one?
Did you?
Yeah, I did. Am I the asshole for secretly picking?
You be trying to cut your way.
I just want to... I'm giving main character energy. Okay. As I want to read them all.
Let's see.
Did I use that right, Rose?
Maybe you have, Daniel. God damn. This might be dark. Am I the asshole for making my daughter go to her mother's funeral? Dun, dun, dun. I, 35 male. You, Daniel? I can't believe it. 35, man.
I know.
It's insane. We feel 25.
I know. I still feel young.
I got ID'd the other day.
God damn. Me too.
I, 35 male, was married years ago to the love of my life, but got divorced before my now 13-year-old daughter turned 1. To make a long story short, ex-wife cheated on me both before and during her pregnancy. Although I tried to save our marriage, she wanted out. In a nutshell, she said she wasn't ready for marriage and only said yes because she loved me at the time. She grew tired of me and abandoned my daughter and me. God damn. Over the years, I saw her only twice. Once on someone's motorcycle where she seemed happy, and another time at a bar where we spoke a little. 2 months ago, I received news that she died, and I was torn up. I never loved anyone like I did her. Aw. So I was devastated. I quickly got in touch with the few friends and the family of hers so I could find and set up the funeral. The issue started when my daughter refused to go. She was as hard-headed as her mother was, so I had to basically drag her to the church. I knew she was acting up because she didn't know her mom, and this was her last chance to say goodbye, and I didn't want her to regret it in the future. She didn't talk to me the entire service, and when we got home, she locked herself in her room. Later, she said, I only wanted to go to the funeral because I wasn't over her, which stung. And although I admit I cried, I was mad because she didn't know anything about her other than what people said.
Yeah.
Her grandmother said I shouldn't have brought her to the funeral, but it seemed like the right thing to do. I know her mom loved her deep down, but didn't get a chance to tell her. Am I the asshole?
Oh, God.
This one's dark.
God damn, Rose.
What do you think? Is he kind of an asshole? Is he kind of not? What do you think?
I don't know.
It's a bit tough.
It's tough because part of me wants to say he's not the asshole because, you know, she's 13 years old. You know, teenagers get all like rebellious and everything. And I could see potentially in the future, like when you're an adult, you could look back on that and be like, why didn't you give me that opportunity? Like to know, say goodbye. And why didn't you bring me to that funeral?
I mean, there's a difference between giving her the opportunity to come.
Yeah.
Versus forcing her to come when she really doesn't want to.
That's true.
So I think she can't really hold resentment later on if she decided not to go.
Yeah.
If her father, he could have tried to convince her. But if she says no, at the end of the day, yes, she's 13. And yes, they're very, emotional and they're very, all over the place. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, she didn't have a relationship with the mom. The mom abandoned her.
Yeah. But I could see, even though she said no, I could see her when she's like, and people do this in the future being like, well, Dad, like I did say no, but I was a teenager. I didn't know what I wanted. Like, why didn't you push for me harder to go? Like, you know what I mean? I could see that happening too.
I don't think so. That would not happen.
It would happen. It could happen and it would.
It's like, well, why didn't you force me to go, Dad? Why didn't you force me to go? I don't know. I think I can see her if she's mature. That's if she's very immature. If you're mature, you would say, oh, I wish I decided to go.
Yeah.
I'm my dad was trying to get me to go, but I didn't want to go. I don't know. It's hard to say.
What are your thoughts, Rose? Because clearly you're...
Well, my thoughts are that I don't necessarily want to call him an asshole because I do understand like what you're saying as well.
Yeah.
He probably feels what you're feeling, like, oh, she's going to regret it later.
Yeah.
But I do feel like also he might be a little fixated on her because he's unhealthily because he's saying she's never loved anyone else like her. In the last, because she's 13, she left when the daughter was 1.
So 12 years.
So 12 years, he's like kind of like, hung up on this woman.
Yeah. And he's 35. So 12 years ago, he was what?
Very young.
23.
And he's clearly, and I feel like, one of the reasons I don't necessarily think it's just because, oh, she's going to regret it in the future. Because the fact of the matter is, she wasn't in the picture.
Yeah, true.
She abandoned her. So I understand where the daughter is coming from.
The daughter doesn't know her.
She doesn't know her. And it's probably very painful for her. And it is probably mixed emotions.
Yeah.
Because like your mom literally just left when you were 1. You didn't even know her. Yeah. She left you. It's very traumatic. Like, imagine how traumatic that is. Like you're thinking, my mom doesn't even want me, you know? So it's like to go to that, I think it's also just like, I don't know. It's, I'm mixed. I'm mixed.
God, I can't believe, I don't understand how people can just like
have a child
and then just leave them.
I know. It's just crazy to me.
I get it. We all go through stresses and things happen in life, but like, I couldn't imagine if I brought life into this world, like just being able to like,
just leave,
chuck my responsibility and be like, see ya.
So I can't blame her for not wanting to go to the mom's funeral. Like
it's so hard.
Like, what's maybe this is controversial, but it's like, just because someone dies doesn't mean they all of a sudden deserve your respect. Sorry. Like if you treated me like shit when you were alive,
that's
like why do I need to respect you when you're dead?
Yeah.
Like you didn't respect me. You basically made me dead to me.
Yeah.
So why am I having to go to your funeral and pay my respects?
Yeah.
Like I'm your daughter and you abandoned me and now I have to go to your funeral and pay my respects to you when you've literally abandoned me. Never saw me once, it sounds like. He literally ran into her twice.
Yeah.
That means the mom like never saw her.
That's wild.
That's wild to me.
What's everyone saying?
Let's see the comments because I feel like they might be divided.
No, I think it might be along your camp.
Oh, no. Oh, maybe a kind of, you're the asshole. Like, I don't think I don't know if he's the asshole, but I think he's messed up a little bit. Mm-hmm. you're the asshole. You took her there not for her own reasons. There you go. That's what I mean. She never knew the woman. She was abandoned and I expect had little to no contact at all. To her, she was a host for pregnancy and not a mother. You can tell her all you want about why you want or think she should go, but you decided to force and drag her there. You loved her and she has never. Oh shit. And then basically they quoted one of what he said. So what he said, I knew she was acting up because she didn't know her mom, but this was her last chance to say goodbye. And I didn't want her to regret it in the future. And then this person wrote, how can she say goodbye when they never said hello? It's true.
Oh, god dang.
It is true. Like, I get it. Sometimes you can make up later in the future. These things do happen.
Yeah.
And then, the mom maybe later on regrets it or whatever. But the fact is that day never came.
Yeah.
Okay. And from the girl's perspective, like that must be very painful in general. And then someone wrote, you can't miss someone you had zero relationship with. If her mom wanted your daughter to mourn her, she'd have made a relationship with her, but she didn't and apparently had no regrets about it. So why on earth would your daughter ever have regrets? Yeah, a lot of people saying you're the asshole. Her last chance to say goodbye, it doesn't sound as if she had a meaningful chance to say hello. The woman who died was a stranger to her. Also, her accusation about why you went was impressively astute for a 13-year-old kid. Because she was basically like, you just love her. Yeah. And so you just want me to go.
You never got over her and you want to go say goodbye.
Wow. A lot of people saying you're the asshole. Most people saying you're the asshole. God damn.
God, there is just honestly, there is some shitty people out there.
The
fact that you're walking away from children, you're like, just,
I know.
Like, and you hear about this a lot. Like, and it's not just men, women too.
Oh,
this is a perfect example.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's like, it does
happen more often with men, unfortunately.
It does, yeah. But like, it's just like, how? Like, this is your child. Like, again, this is why it's like so stupid when they make like adoptions and all this kind of stuff really
so difficult. Yeah.
And it's like, there's a lot of kids, not saying that this was an adoption situation, but like,
yeah, I know kids get abandoned. Like, I understand why it has to be somewhat strict, of course. But at the same time, it's like literally, if you have the ability, like this mom is a perfect example. You have this ability to give birth, but you have absolutely no parenting skills. You have no desire to parent. And then you end up traumatizing your child and abandoning your child when there's plenty of people that want to have kids that maybe can't have kids or, whatever. And they can't even get a kid because all these fucking rules.
I always think it's so funny because you brought this up on another podcast when we talked about some of this topic, and it was like, it's so funny because you have people that, for an adoption process, they have to go through so many, steps and, are you financially stable? Are you XYZ? Yeah. Are you in a loving home? Can you provide XYZ? Blah, blah, blah. And then literally a teenager that has like, or anybody like, this woman that has like zero parental skills, maybe she's in financial mess. She could have a baby.
Yeah. As long as the egg and the sperm work, you can have a baby and you can keep that baby. You can raise that baby. You can abandon that baby. You can do whatever the fuck you want with that baby.
Yeah.
It's really messed up.
And that's why I'm like, I feel like, honestly, there should be a
parenting course.
Or there should be like guidelines where it's like, hey, we're going to check to make sure that you guys are fit parents before you can have kids.
Yes. I mean, but then people would say that's a little bit, like, what do you call it?
It's taking
controlling.
It's taking away my rights. My rights to bear children.
Oh my God. But honestly, you can bear children. Doesn't mean you can fucking raise them.
I know.
You can have a child, but maybe go through just do a parenting course.
Yeah.
Just a parenting course. Okay. Or just like an assessment. We always wait until after the fact, after something goes wrong. Like, for example, Child Protective Services. Obviously, we don't have enough resources to do this stuff, but like, I don't understand why we don't put more resources into this. But it's like after there's severe signs of abuse, and even then, sometimes nothing is done.
Well, that is the exact case of
exactly
Gabriel
Fernandez.
Oh my God,
I know, it's horrific. So it's like, we always wait until after the fact, after the trauma is already built, after these things happened, and then we're questioning why we have issues in society. I'm not saying that's the only thing, but it's like childhood trauma is one of the biggest
huge
indicators of potential future issues.
Yep.
So anyway, next that'd be a deep ass, dark ass. Am I the asshole?
Am I the asshole for telling my sister that our weekend trip for her birthday was a mistake?
Dun, dun, dun.
My 29-year-old sister, Meg, me, yes. I'm a female.
She's
29.
Yeah.
My sister, Meg, is 25, mentioned many times that she wanted to visit one particular town in the southern part of our country. What's important for the story, The town in question is always full of tourists, and lines to museums, restaurants, and basically lines everywhere are very long. In summer, you have to reserve tickets to some places long before your trip if you want to visit them all. Mm-hmm. Personally, I don't like overly touristic places, but Meg's previous visit to given town went poorly, and it remained an unfulfilled dream of hers. So I decided to take her for a weekend trip there on her birthday at the very beginning of June. I told her beforehand that I'll pay for the hotel, train, and some of the tickets and restaurant bills, but she has to make a list of places she wants to see so I can get a reservation. I gave her a deadline, second half of May, so I can get the reservations. May 15th came. I asked her if she had her list ready. She hadn't. No biggie. I gave her a few additional days. May 21st, still nothing. Eventually, I booked some places I found interesting myself. Some of them were no longer available anyway. In the end, she didn't give me a list at all. We went for a trip, seen the things I was able to book or we were able to see without reservations. But what upset me was that even when we reached our destination, she still didn't really know what she wanted to see. She only twice during the trip mentioned that she's interested in seeing something. Both places were unavailable or had very, very long lines. All the time, her behavior was like, meh, anyway. Even though it was her who, in the last 3 years, constantly mentioned visiting this town. I was feeling as if I was babysitting and forcing a toddler to see things she wasn't interested in. I also want to mention that I don't earn much, and the trip, even for that weekend, was hard for my budget, especially as I paid for almost everything. Eventually, I snapped at her that she had no idea that if she had no idea what she's doing here, she shouldn't constantly mention the place, as she can sit in her room and play on her phone at home instead of this town. I also mentioned that I'll never again plan any trip for her if she doesn't want to contribute in any way. Now she's mad at me because apparently I ruined her birthday, and she doesn't need to have a good. She doesn't need to plan to have a good trip. I didn't want her to plan every second of the trip, only an outline, so I was able to make reservations. Am I the asshole?
It's hard to say. Okay. The reason is because I think there's maybe some miscommunication here. Mm-hmm. I feel like the sister, maybe she's having a good time and maybe she's just not showing it.
Yeah.
Because, I understand, like, sometimes I don't plan anything and I just get somewhere and I just do whatever.
You blindly follow the crowd. Not knowing what direction you're going, where you're going.
I blindly follow the crowd.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I'm not having a good time.
Yeah. But you would think, though, like, and I get what you're saying, because like sometimes people express like having fun in different ways. Mm-hmm. Like, the thing is, they're sisters, right? So you would have grown up with this person. Yeah, that's true. You should know when they're like, true. It's like your siblings. You kind of, or like you sometimes would have a better idea than like just some friend.
This is true.
Not just some friend, but like, you're not strangers. You didn't meet yesterday. You grew up together, right? So
what do you think? Do you think she's an asshole? Do you think her sister's an asshole?
Well, I think it's partly broken communication, because like I would have been like,
pick a place.
Exactly. I would have been like, pick a place or we're not going. Like, I'll be like,
pick a place or I'm just going to pick some places.
Exactly. And you're going to have to be happy with it, That's one thing she could have done. And yeah, if she's on a really tight budget and stuff, maybe don't offer to pay for everything. Like, just say, hey, I'll pay for this if you want to pay for this. You know what I mean? Like, make it like, it's for her birthday, so maybe like treat her to something or whatever. You know?
I think she was trying to do a really nice thing and, treat her to a really nice birthday gift.
Yeah.
And I think she feels very underappreciated. And also the fact that she didn't, like, the sister didn't help at all with this planning process, which obviously is a bit frustrating.
It is.
Unless like you are the type of person that likes to plan everything, but clearly this was like a trip for her. So you kind of want her to give you a little bit of information.
Well, and this is the thing, even because I'm like on the fence on both. Like sometimes I like to plan things, sometimes I don't. Like it depends on how I am.
Yeah, but if there's specific things I want to do.
Exactly. But anytime I go somewhere, especially if it's like with a friend, I'll be like, okay, because I actually don't like to have too tight of an itinerary. I like to kind of like go with the flow. But the way that I travel is I always have like key things that I want to see in a place. Like, let's say I go to like, I don't know, I can't think of a place, but I go to Barcelona. There'll be like 4 things that I'm like, I have to see these. Mm-hmm. Everything else is flexible. But that's why I always say to like whoever I'm traveling with, like, what are your non-negotiables? Basically, like, what are some places that you really want to see? We'll make that work. And then if fun things happen along the way, then we can go do them, you know? So for her not providing anything also is like a lack of effort on her side. And that would frustrate me as well. Like if I'm trying to plan something for like my brother or my family, I'd be like, hey, I need some input from you guys. Cause like also I don't want it all on me if it does turn out to be bad. And you guys are like, oh, well, you booked it all.
Yeah, exactly. She planned it all. And then the sister doesn't seem too happy about it, which is the concern, right? It's not necessarily that she didn't seem to have a problem. The sister didn't seem to have, the original poster did not seem to have a problem with actually booking the stuff, because she sounded like, okay, it's fine. Like I'll just book some stuff. But it sounds like the sister's being pouty and like not really enjoying it, even though she's been talking about this place for the last 3 years.
Exactly. I'm surprised she wasn't like, oh my God, I'm so excited we're going to this place.
Exactly. So it's like you just feel very shitty and underappreciated. So I think the sister, you know what? My conclusion, sister is the asshole.
Yeah, I would agree. So here's some comments. Not the asshole.
Yeah.
So this town was meant to be her dream destination, but she had no idea what she wanted to see.
Yeah. Very strange.
I know. How can this place be her dream when she apparently knows nothing about the place and doesn't have a list of places she wants to see?
That's the thing. It's like when we travel to places, right?
Yeah.
If I'm going somewhere that's not my dream destination, that's when I don't have a plan at all.
Exactly.
But if there's a place that I like fucking want to go to really badly,
you
know, then I'm going to at least have a few landmarks I want to see. Why is it your dream destination?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, continue.
And then it's like, I'm planning, how can this possibly be when she apparently knows nothing about the place? I am planning my dream holiday for next year. I have wanted to go for years. My difficulty is cutting things out that I want to do, and I have a limited time. I wouldn't bother planning anything for her in the future. Plan what you want to do or go and see. Tell your sister this is where I'm going and this is what I'm doing. You're welcome to come with me, paying for herself. She either goes with you or you go by yourself or another friend.
Yeah. She sounds awful to travel with. What's next? Anything else?
The only reason you would be the asshole is because you provided monetary support for this trip.
For this fucking entitled crybaby.
I know. Let's see what the top comment was. Hang on.
Yeah.
I think there's one. Oh, yeah. I would say not the asshole. While I understand not wanting to have a trip planned down to the second. Yeah, that's fair. With this kind of place that's very touristy and typically requires reservations, you need to have at least an outline of what you want to do, which is what I was saying. Just so you can make proper reservations. If I were you, I would probably be upset by your sister's meh attitude, especially if she's been talking about this place for 3 years.
Oh, so
and
annoying.
then when it happens, nothing. That would piss me off. Like,
that would piss
if someone's like, oh my God, I really want to go here. And they keep talking about it. And then 3 years later, we go and they're just kind of like, I don't know what I want to do.
Oh my God. I would be so annoyed.
I'd be like, you're the one that wanted to go here for 3 years.
Yeah. What do you mean you don't want to see anything? What the hell's wrong with you?
Why did you want to come here?
Oh my God. You know what?
What was the pull? Like, why the whole 3 years were you so desperate to see this place? What did you want to see here?
The more we talk about it, the more I hate the sister.
I know, because it actually like is ridiculous. It's like me being like, Rose, I really desperately want to go to like, I don't know, New York, let's say. I want to go to New York. And I've been talking about it for 5 years. We go to New York and you're like, okay, Daniel, you've wanted to go to New York for 5 years. What do you want to do?
Yeah. Meh. And I again, it would be different if you were like, oh my God, I'm just excited to be here. Let's just walk around. Let's just see what, you know, but it's like, it wasn't like that. It was like, she's just meh.
Yeah.
Oh God, she sounds meh.
This would piss me off. I wouldn't book a trip with her again.
Should we do one more? One last one for good measure.
Yee.
We got to cut down some of the time. So
I'll let you pick it, Rose.
Okay. Let's see. Would I be the asshole if I excluded my 3-year-old from a family trip? I say no. My spouse and I have 3 children. 9, 6, and a 2.5-year-old. Before we had kids, and most years since, we have gone to an annual conference. Yeah. That's about 10-hour drive from us. We are gone from home for 5 days. Our 6 and 9-year-old are great travelers and have been since they were babies. Our toddler is, to put it mildly, not. He is a sensory-seeking kinesthetic. What? And kinesthetic? Is that an adjective? Okay. And hates being trapped in a car seat. He screams intermittently.
I think maybe he's like very active.
Right.
Yeah.
He screams intermittently just to hear his own voice. He is crying and whining at all times in the car unless he's asleep. He's also highly verbal and worships his older siblings who in turn adore him. This year, like last year, we are also taking our nephews, 15 and 17, along with our older children. God, sounds like a nightmare. We are paying for their entrance, food, lodging, souvenirs, etc. in exchange for some childcare. We all make a con schedule and trade off the kids. Okay, interesting.
Okay.
Oh, so the nephews, the 15 and 17-year-old, are going to watch the younger kids. Yeah. Okay. Our toddler could come with us, and he would love the sights and sounds. He came last year and had a marvelous time, but the car ride was truly awful, and his presence curtailed what the rest of us could see and do. He could also stay with his babysitter, who feels like a bonus parent to him, and or his grandparents, who are more distant but trustworthy. He would have a great time, but the initial transition would be rough, as he's never been away from us, even overnight, much less for 5 days. I'm most concerned about him feeling left out when we get home and the kids are gushing about their experience, though he will, I suppose, have his own fun things to talk about. He will not understand ahead of time that he is not going to the con. Would I be the asshole if I left him at home? It's a bit of a tough one, isn't it?
What do you think? Very tough one.
He's 2.5. Is he going to remember? Okay. I am a full proponent of leaving your very, very young kids at home when you go on your vacations.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to remember. Okay. Like, I don't know what age you start remembering things, but it's like you bring them and it basically, I don't know, it kind of, I don't want to say ruins the experience, but
well, it sounds like in this example,
yeah,
it does.
It makes it very difficult because kids are difficult. Okay. Yeah. It's not just his child.
I think again, it depends on the kids. So his particular kid does sound difficult.
Yes.
Some young kids, like they can be actually really, really good.
Yes.
Like, so one of my friends, like their kids are really well behaved and they always have been.
Yeah.
So I feel like if they were that age, like even at 2.53, yeah, they had a moment where they would sometimes, you know, they're going to have a temper tantrum sometimes, but it wasn't like this. Like they could do a car ride. They were really well behaved. It was only occasionally they'd have like a mishap.
Yeah.
So I think that they could bring that child, you know what I mean? But I think with a child like this that is like so over the top right now, and I think the problem is because they're so young, and again, I'm not a parent, so I don't know any of this shit, guys, but I feel like because they're so young, it's harder to rationalize and reason with them, right?
Exactly.
So they have this behavior and it's really hard to control them. Once they're like 5 or 6, you know what I mean? You could then easily take them because you're going to be able to, like, even if they have some behavioral
maybe not
problems.
Easily, but yes.
Even if they have some behavioral problems, it becomes a little bit like
you can talk to them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas 2-year-olds, like 2.5, it's like that's gonna be a tough one.
It's a tough age.
Yeah.
You know what they say, the terrible twos.
Oh,
you know.
God.
So what do you think? Would he be the asshole?
I don't think so.
I don't think he'd be the asshole. I think it's reasonable.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds like he has a potential, like great childcare potentially.
Yeah.
And he has options. And again, the kid is probably not going to remember.
Yeah, and it might be nice to have a weekend with their grandparents.
Yes, and like I have friends that like have a few kids, and then they'll leave the young kid behind with the grandparents.
Yeah.
And they'll go traveling, and I just think it's smart. I don't think you have to bring your kid everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know, or maybe we're just saying
maybe because we don't have kids, guys, and we're so independent that we're just like, just leave your kid at home, like just go do your own thing, you know, like I don't know.
You know what? I think we're in the right here because people are agreeing. Not the asshole. You are way overthinking. He is a toddler and has no real concept of wanting to go on this trip and certainly can't remember last year's trip. Yeah. Go have fun. Don't drag a toddler on a 10-hour drive. Agreed.
Yeah.
Not the asshole. He's 2.5, dude. He's not going to feel left out when y'all get home and gush about it. Yeah. Does he even speak? Like,
I know. Well, they'll speak a little bit.
He's going to be happy to see his family. Go and have fun with the older kids and the nephews. You're allowed to do things without including all your kids. That's what keeps us parents sane. Absolutely agree. Mm-hmm. So I guess we do know a little something about parenting.
Damn, Rose, we should be parents.
Let's not go that
Maybe
far.
not.
So it's like, not the asshole. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's gonna be the asshole. Everyone's saying not the asshole. I think this is what it is. Like someone wrote, you are feeling parent guilt, which is super common. So like, which totally makes sense. Like, which is probably what he is actually feeling. And he's probably like, I feel bad for leaving my child. My child is gonna think like I'm leaving him. But again, as long as you have good childcare and as long as like, you know, he's having fun, doing his thing. And again, he's not going to remember.
Exactly.
So it's like, why would you? And it sounds like he doesn't like this drive anyways, right? It's 10 hours.
Exactly.
It's going to be awful. Like everyone's going to be suffering. So it's like, let's just like make it easy for everyone. Let him stay, have fun with his grandparents or his babysitter and call it a day.
I love it.
And on that positive note,
yes.
I hope you guys enjoyed this series of Am I the Asshole?
Yeah.
Let us know if you are listening or watching on YouTube. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. We read all of them. So
yeah, we do.
You know, be nice.
Yes. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're watching this video on YouTube. Check out our Patreon page, guys. Patreon.com/the SaVeg Podcast. We release all the episodes a week early. It's all ad-free content on there. And also you get an exclusive episode every single month. Membership starts as low as $3 a month. Also, if you're listening to us on your favorite podcasting platform, don't forget to hit that follow button. It lets you get updated as soon as we release new episodes. And of course, give us a rating on your favorite podcast platform. 5 stars, please. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you so much for listening, guys. And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.